Every dog knows not to bite the hand that feeds them. It's a metaphor that dictates our actions more often than we think it does. For example, in school, when we need that dumb pseudo-history teacher torturing us with that World War VIII exam to pass us to the next grade, and because of that, we can't throw them out the window with a smile on our face, if we follow what we feel is right and we send the man flying over the courtyard, we repeat the year. Another example, a job. When we can't cut up our boss into little pieces and cook him into a lechon for Donald Love because then our resources for which we wanted to buy this delicious ham for supper will go to hell. Yet another example straight out of everyday life, the city hall situation. When we know that mean imbecile in glasses behind the desk, if we insult her with something just a little, she'll mess us up so badly that we're gonna have to spend our whole freaking day in there, while every now and then answering phone calls from our wife asking where we are because the supper's getting cold. However, there are also plenty of situations in which not biting our feeder's hand is something natural and rooted in humanity. Because if some nice lady hits us up on the street and told us, "Hey, what a sexy gentleman you are," and gave us a bill for lunch as well, and we answer her with, "Ah, you stupid woman, how can you talk to me like that?" we'd look like the biggest dumbass on earth. I know that, y'all know that, my cousin Janet knows it. But as it turns out, one grown-up you would have thought an intelligent guy, additionally having a colossal influence on pop culture, doesn't know that. Steven Ogg, the actor giving the voice to Trevor in GTA 5. In general, listening to his statements, one may quickly notice that we're dealing with a complete yap, whom something has eaten his brain. But I'll keep you uncertain for now, and I'll just say that in today's video, we'll check whether that's actually the case, or whether GTA fans are wrong, and wrongly perceive poor Steven Ogg. Steven Ogg is known for his totally, not even indifferent, but negative approach to GTA 5 and the role he's played in it. And first of all, we'll touch on why that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, and from where come all those negative comments regarding our hero. See, Steven Ogg grew up in Canada and started his acting career in the year 1999, 14 years before the release of GTA 5. To put it mildly, throughout those 14 years, he hasn't exactly made it big in his profession. But that's okay, it is what it is. Not everyone makes it, and there's nothing wrong with that, just to be clear. Besides, I myself am just some average YouTuber. I've started on the platform a long time ago, even before this channel was created. And I haven't made a big career here either, so I'm the last person to have the right to judge someone's career, especially in an unfamiliar profession. Going back though, Steven was a rather lesser known actor who played in some smaller indie theatrical plays or minor works. And even when something bigger turned up, like Third Watch or Law and Order, Steven played those less significant roles. You know, some characters make an appearance here and there who barely anyone remembers afterwards. Nonetheless, fate eventually rewarded Steven Ogg, and that took place in the year 2013. The release of GTA 5. In the aspects of recognition and the acting career, GTA 5 was such a boost for him, as if a random ghetto boy was given the offer to live in a luxury mansion in Vinewood Hills. We gotta admit that he did his job as Trevor phenomenally. That character is a legend. That guy pulled off such a masterpiece here that kids in 2400 will probably be learning that in history classes. Not only was the role incredible, but the game itself became a generational success. The connection of those two factors resulted in the actor being given much more major roles later on. His CV began to look serious. Among others, he's played one of the main antagonists of the 7th season of The Walking Dead. There was also quite a significant role in the prequel to Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. There was also a voice acting gig in one of the cartoons transmitted on the iconic Cartoon Network, and an advertisement of popular deodorant Old Spice. Perhaps he didn't make such a show as that guy named Mustafa, I believe, who was rolling on a horse in reverse in the ad, but still. In any case, the paradox is that all those roles and the Old Spices still couldn't touch his role in GTA 5, even with the 2-meter stick and his iconic role of Trevor. The sole individual achievements of his tell the whole story. Steven was nominated to a total of 6 awards, one of which he even won. Anyway, the point is that each one of those awards referred to his work on GTA 5. That clearly shows that this guy isn't Leo DiCaprio, Keanu Reeves, Denzel Washington, Tom Hanks, Robert De Niro, nor Al Pacino. Unfortunately not. Steven Ogg is in reality Trevor Phillips. That's what people know him for, and if not for that, his face would probably not have been recognized by anyone on the streets. Unfortunately, Steven couldn't accept that, and as much as that on its own is okay, everyone has the right to his taste, and I've got nothing against it if it doesn't harm others. The biggest problem is his attitude, which he from time to time demonstrates towards GTA 5 and its fans. Many fans notice that the actor appears unengaged. His awkward behavior is also apparent at various events such as the Comic-Con. It's easy to see that Steven completely doesn't fit in the crowd and that he doesn't seem to understand that environment. His whole body language can be a sign of it. One could defend him and say that he doesn't do that out of malice, that it more stems from the lack of understanding of the setting. But on the other hand, he's an actor, after many tuitions, who, what's more, is a grown-up man with huge experience, who's been in many places and who should know at least a little bit of how to behave. There are people who are fascinated by him and would like him to express engagement towards what's going on around him, and at least a bit of excitement about the event. Besides, that sort of attitude is often noticeable in egoists who don't want to engage and who put themselves above everything else. Keanu Reeves or Sandler also probably don't like it too much sometimes when someone constantly approaches them, talks them up, and takes away their privacy. Nonetheless, that's exactly what distinguishes great people from ruckish jerks. Keanu would probably grin, take a photo, and would, with respect, approach a man who shouted Neo at him. Another person would say, though, that they don't want no one to say Trevor to him, but Steven, because he takes it as an insult. But that all is still nothing, because the biggest scandal took place in the performances on Cameo. For those who may not know, Cameo is a platform on which the fans may request short, personalized recordings from actors. It often revolves around the artist impersonating their iconic character, wishing someone happy birthday, saying an iconic line, or simply greeting their fan. Steven, instead of doing his job as he should have, for which he got paid, and a lot of money too, because you gotta pay way over $100 for such a treat, was just simply malicious.
You wanted me to give you this message from Trevor, which, of course, I'm not Trevor. My name is Steven, and I am an actor. And it would be literally impossible for me to be a cartoon. I mean, literally impossible for me to be a cartoon. Like, I can't be. And even other characters, right? That's an actor's job. So, I need to get that off my chest. I just sometimes don't fucking understand. You both of yous are careful in Vice City. Vice City, I don't know what that is. I think it's maybe part of the GTA thing. But anyways, it's dangerous out there. Watch out for the cops in Port Gellhorn. Don't understand that reference. And I'll see you out there. Cause I'm a cartoon. Right? And I'll see you out there. Cause none of it's real. Right. Wow. What a fucking world.
Check this out. Someone comes out, someone who loves GTA, loves the character of Trevor, and wants to see how Trevor is, in a way, played out live, spending a lot of money at that. And what happens? He gets a kick in the ass. Absolute disgrace. Steven, instead of saying what he was asked for, made some sort of a rant out of this. You know, some pathetic dilatation of his. He lamented like some rich spoiled kid whom his daddy didn't buy another expensive toy. He didn't even have to do it. No one orders him to record all those cameos. He was the one who put the offer out there, and he's the one claiming money for it. Steven has the right to his opinion, but the way in which he expressed that opinion is below any standard. And that's while being paid. Now, what the hell is the deal with that? GTA, which Steven has a lot to thank for, he countlessly compared to a cartoon. He made it more than clear that he has no idea what Vice City is, or that he doesn't understand other GTA references. Man, you are apparently a pro. Trevor is the role of your life, so don't be a complete ignorant and show any interest at all. Show some complete basics of humanity. No one demands of you to play GTA 5 day and night. Steven also can't understand why someone wants him to send a message from Trevor and not from himself. So, from Steven. I don't know. I just truly don't know. In my school days, people like that were being thrown a firecracker in their pants or were being thrown out the gate. I mean, I'm joking, of course, just to be clear. I mean, those things did happen, but I don't consider them right. One absolutely shouldn't bully anyone in any way. I just assume that people who would watch this video aren't some complete half-wits, so I allow myself for jokes like that. But tell me, how do I mildly explain that to someone like that, this simple relation? I'm sorry, man, but as much as you don't care about GTA 5, the same way I don't give a flying damn about some Steven Ogg. That's exactly it. Steven has every right to not care about GTA, but when someone doesn't care about him and they only care about the role he played, then it's an issue. Self-centered behavior typical for a star. Nothing counts but them. What they feel, what they think. Only he is allowed to not care about everything, but everyone around him has to think just like him because otherwise, he wouldn't understand that. It's sometimes hard to escape the feeling that Steven Ogg is a self-centered yap with an inflated ego who is ungrateful, unprofessional, and constantly disrespects his fans. And then it becomes hard for the players to believe in the good things and that the actor was being honest while saying them. To believe in that on various occasions, whenever he was asked about his attitude towards GTA 5 or specifically to Trevor, his answers were nothing but positive. He said that GTA 5 was one of the best projects he'd ever worked on.
I'd say this is definitely one of the best projects I've ever worked on. Yeah.
He also said that Trevor is a fascinating and brilliantly written character.
Oh, he's a great character. He's awesome. And like, Sean and Ned were friends, and we were just doing a Comic-Con this past weekend.
He also said he was proud of his performance in GTA 5 and grateful for the possibility to play Trevor. Then he also said that playing Trevor was a fantastic experience for him and that he had plenty of fun throughout.
Yeah, it's a fun character. You know, it's very, very lucky to play.
And then he'll come out and put out a statement that he doesn't care about GTA 6. And tell me, how do you believe this man that he respects other people's interests if he himself doesn't understand them? Because of it, all those good things he said about GTA begin to look like some PR bullcrap, to which Steven, possibly, was forced by one of the points in the contract with Rockstar. Let's try to understand Steven with all this though. We know that Steven has never played video games. He said himself that he hasn't got a clue what's the deal with it. He doesn't get what's so cool about that, and that he's simply interested in completely different things.
I was never into that world. I still haven't really played the game. I've tried it. It's crazy that I guess 5 years it's been now. I don't understand why people care. It's cool, but I don't get the.
In one interview, he even mentioned that he needed to call one of the people he had worked on GTA 5 with to ask for a step-by-step guide on how to launch the game on an Xbox 360. And yeah, that's cool, but so what? Does that entitle him to drop humanity? Does that entitle him to be rude to someone who admires him and pays him a lot of money for him to say one stupid line from GTA 5? That's how the world works. When becoming an actor, you need to be aware that throughout your entire career, there may be that one role that will cast shadow on all the other ones. We've got one-hit wonders, whether it's singers, actors, or even football players. Those stars are remembered only for one short moment. And I'd say that that's not the saddest part of the system. It doesn't look good for a grown-up man to take offense because someone called him Trevor instead of Steven, and then complained about how bad the world is that role made it so everyone sees a video game character in him. What else are they supposed to see? His achievements apart from GTA 5 in terms of performances in big projects are simply small. An adult man behaves like a spoiled daddy's girl, and it's not pleasant to look at. Such behavior in the case of such a petty thing is simply embarrassing and humiliating, which additionally forces distaste on the faces of millions of fans of the series which has defined the standards of gaming for decades, and which is absolute gold, and which it'll probably remain for a long time yet. Steven constantly repeats that he doesn't get why people care about games, that he himself isn't interested in games, and that he has never even played through GTA 5, that he doesn't care about GTA 6, that he doesn't want to impersonate Trevor, that he doesn't want all the questions and requests to be just about Trevor, etc., etc. And what are they supposed to be about? Everybody knows you because of Trevor, not anything else. Besides, if he himself feels that way and is aware of it, then what in hell's name is he coming to all those events for? He knows that those are gaming events, and that the main interest of the people there is GTA 5 and not himself or his other roles. So what is he putting himself in the environment, which he doesn't even understand, which will not understand him for? And here we arrive to another complaint of the players, that Steven appears on them just to grab some cash, sit there for as long as they want him to, and then go home. No wonder the fans think so. They saw the interviews with Ogg, in which he said that even such a big success of the game didn't mean that he's rich now, and that his everyday life hasn't really changed, as one may think. His morning routines, etc. did not really change.
I'm always grateful to make some money because, again, the reality of us as artists is very different than what people think. You know, if you're an actor, you're rich. That's not how it works. And GTA was like the biggest thing of all time. And it just didn't really change anything.
What do you mean it didn't change anything for you?
For me. I mean, it didn't change the way I drank my coffee in the morning or took a piss.
But did it make you proud? Did it make you feel more secure with maybe finances?
No.
Finances?
No, because, you know, finances are not what people think. Like, people think just because you're on a hit show that it equals your pockets.
So all those Comic-Cons are, in a way, a rescue for him, and Steven himself admits it.
How did Grand Theft Auto come about, and did you have any idea that a video game was going to stay with you for 10 years?
Well, first of all, thank goodness, because, you know, it helps pay the bills, right?
Yeah.
Doing the cons, as we know.
This is that moment which shows how Steven, despite the fact that he needs the money coming from that kind of things, still bites his feeder's hand, like some absolute jerk. he often cannot respect where he's getting the money to buy bread for, and he'll still publicly express his complaints and throw dumb statements left and right. Unfortunately, if we compare his attitude to the attitude of other actors, it gets even worse. Cause let's compare him to Ray Liotta, for example. We're not even going to get to their careers, to not make an even bigger laughingstock out of Ogg. Liotta was born 20 years earlier. He understood even less about video games. He went, did a good job, and then he just politely gave interviews and said that it was great fun. And additionally, joking that he only knew what was the deal with the game because they only asked him to shout at people and call him names. You know, get out of the car, you scumbag, lines, and so on.
I know what the object is because I kept saying, get the fuck out of the car. Get the hell out.
This guy's golden. Besides, after his death in 2022, the fans of the game and the gaming community expressed their deep sadness over the actor's passing, who has simply left a lot to reminisce about. And that's despite that the gig on Vice City wasn't anything special for him, and he himself probably didn't really care about it too much. Another example is Laszlo Jones. Actually, to prove how positive Laszlo's attitude is towards GTA, you wouldn't have to say anything else apart from pointing out that he worked at Rockstar for 20 years and appeared or worked on almost every part since GTA 3. Ultimately, Laszlo left Rockstar, and we won't see him nor hear him in GTA 6. However, that wasn't caused by any conflicts. He explained in interviews that a few things stacked up simultaneously. Having to take care of his sister who got ill, pandemic, and that he felt like he wanted a new experience. Going further, even Michael Hollick hasn't said a bad word about Rockstar. Quite the opposite. Talking about his partnership with the studio, he always expressed gratitude, and that's despite the fact that, as he admitted, his payout compared to the huge success of the game was laughably low. In spite of that, he gave a few interviews in which he warmly reminisced about his work on GTA 4. He said good words about the director, scriptwriters, and the fact that he was given a lot of freedom in terms of the interpretation of the character. The entire experience was deemed by him as fascinating, and he accented how big of an honor it was for him to become such a part of a wonderful project. What's more, Hollick admitted that before GTA 4, he wasn't really a gamer either, but he got into this world after playing in GTA 4.
Michael, were you a gamer before this? Did you play video games?
You know, I have to admit, I was not. I had just a casual kind of acquaintance with the whole culture.
Yeah.
But I'm into it now. I assure you.
But the most brutal for Steven Ogg comparison comes with Ned Luke and Sean Fontino, the actors who played Michael and Franklin, respectively. Luke and Sean Fontino can see how it works. Ned Luke is Michael, Sean Fontino is Franklin, and that's it. Two grown-up men play with it, love the game, and make good money on it. They don't give no bullcrap that, hey, you better call me Ned. Ned and Sean simply accept that that's how the industry works, and instead of arguing with it, they embrace it and make the most of this opportunity.
But if you're gonna, you know, if you're gonna come, you want to say, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, you're Michael, aren't you? You're Franklin, right?" We embrace that.
Yeah,
because you know what? The bottom line is that a lot of people don't realize is that the fans, those are the game. The fans are the game. The game's not the game. We're not the game. You have to respect them. You have to honor them because they're the ones that made the game what it is. You got 180 million copies of that game floating around out there. If you don't have that, guess what? GTA 5 is not GTA 5. It's something else.
And for Ned or Sean, it's clear as day. They got given a chance, so they take it. They get into the world of GTA and become a part of the community. Everyone's happy. The men make good money on it, and we get to touch the video game world in real life. A win-win setup. And then there's Ogg, who ruins all the fun. On YouTube, we can find interviews with Sean Fontino or Ned Luke, which are for the most part dedicated to GTA. Sean even has his own 5M server. He interacts with the fans. He often tells them stories on how much in common he has with the character he played, and how he once conducted the same life as Franklin, and how much he identifies with him. And when it comes to Luke, it takes just a look at his room wall. This guy is excited about GTA 5 to the max, and about who he became thanks to it. Going back to Steven, he admitted in one of his interviews that he's a poor communicator and has a problem with telling other people when he doesn't like something. Instead of saying, "Hey, look man, I don't like it, could you stop it please?" he prefers to hold it inside, which then later leads to him offloading this frustration in a wrong moment. He himself admits that he's working on it and that he has to change that in himself.
But I'm a shitty communicator.
Right.
Like, there are people that can be like, "Excuse me, that's very rude," or "This makes me uncomfortable." I'll just be like, and like I'll hold it in, and then I'll get home and throw a chair. Or be an asshole to someone that I shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I wish I mean, still, I need to work on those skills.
Steven also mentioned that he always didn't quite fit in, and that he doesn't meet many people with whom he gets along well.
I mean, I never, like in those formative years growing up, I never fit in.
That probably led to him working out this mindset. Don't confront, hold inside. There's also the intense temper. He says that his emotion often overrides his understanding. He tends to have his moods, which negatively affects his environment.
Like I've had this, it's been a lot lately with feeling versus understanding. I'm a feeler.
Yeah.
And when I feel, it overtakes the ability to understand.
And that's okay, only that's an attitude that really negatively affects the life in a society and interhuman relationships. Here, I'm under the impression that in what Steven said, despite the fact that those statements weren't constructed in direct reference or as a response to a question about GTA or Trevor, it all creates a cohesive whole concerning Steven's problem. Each one of us has their weaknesses, and at least, I don't consider them as excuses for our rude or inappropriate behavior. No one is perfect, and sometimes we say the wrong thing, of course. But explaining this behavior by saying, I'm emotional, I got a bad temper, doesn't change anything. For mistakes, one should apologize. Not only explain where it's coming from. Steven, I'm not sure whether you're aware, but you're not the only one. We've all got emotions. We all feel misunderstood in some aspects. But that can't become something that leads to offloading our emotion in the wrong moment or us being complete jerks toward others. Additionally, and unfortunately, Steven is someone observed by millions of people. This is a guy that has a huge opportunity to show the young men of this world how a grown-up man should act, a man who didn't lose his mind after becoming famous. Unfortunately, Steven Ogg is not that case, and we should not learn from him in this aspect. When it comes to how other actors perceive Steven Ogg's attitude, I'd say that their opinions are quite similar to mine, only that the two weigh their words more carefully because of their relations with Steven Ogg, whether it's professional or personal. As much as Ned as well as Sean think that Steven does have the right to be himself and not understand the hype to do with the game and not engage in the fandom, they also think he should know that by taking up such a role, he must face the consequences that come with it. Sean says it outright, that despite the fact he understands where Steven's coming from, he simply often exaggerates. His behavior is explicable, but it's inflated. Not even talking about the controversial cameos, which were completely out of order.
Steven wants to be recognized as Steven Ogg.
Yeah.
He don't want you coming up to him saying Trevor, which is shitty to me. Steven shouldn't be that way because to me, he was nobody before this. He was just a little actor he was somebody, but he wasn't who he is today. He was an actor. Don't get me wrong. I didn't know him before this, but from what I've heard, he was a regular little actor. He did plays and he did his thing, but this shit put him on a pedestal so high afterwards. I can't believe that you don't want to accept the recognition of being Trevor. Trevor is a iconic character.
Steven should rather seek balance, accept the rules of this industry, find a way for either him and the fans to be satisfied. Meanwhile, he equips an egoist approach. He expects everyone to understand him, while not understanding nobody himself. But do you know what is the worst? That Steven is a guy who doesn't get any arguments. If he saw this video, do you know what he'd say? That he doesn't care about my comments, because me, I don't know him.
Those kind of comments don't bother me because I'm like, you don't fucking know me.
The fact that here or in other similar videos, his negative traits and accusations regarding his very unethical, immoral, and inhumane behaviors were listed, that all stems from the sole fact that we don't know him. So yes, according to Steven, we're wrong. He's all cool, you know? Now, when I look at certain behaviors of Trevor in GTA 5, I agree even more that Rockstar have hit a bullseye by picking the right actor for him. But this time, I don't mean it in a good way in terms of the actor. Steven Ogg has a personality which it'd be hard for one to be jealous of, and which most of us do not have, because the social life would become much harder. That's it for today. I'm very grateful for all the ratings, comments, and considerations of supporting this merciless channel. Thanks to the patrons. Take care and see you soon.